The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And boy, has Mamdani stepped into a firestorm this time with his comments redefining, trying to expand on the definition of rape. Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222. A lot to get to. America as it relates to New York's socialist mayor. Looking at my Twitter, at my ex, the lovely DMS says rewrite language and you rewrite social policy and crime. Pretty soon you have women not believing what they experience. And that's one of the kinder comments. Cassandra Van Poe says a strict and extreme interpretation of Quran permits sex with female captives or slaves. She goes on to say, and I'm quoting her, what do you expect this not so in the closet jihadist to say? 800-848-9222. So Mamdani has stepped in it. He has absolutely stepped in it. And I don't know if you folks are into rap music, but there was a song years ago by the highly popular group called Run DMC, and the song was titled Shut Up, You Talk Too Much. It applies to this mayor.
You talk about your girl from head to toe. I said your mouth's moving fast and your brain's moving slow. You talk too much. You never shut up. I said you talk too much. Homeboy, you never shut up. You're the instigator, the orator of the town. You're the worst when you converse, just a big mouth clown. You talk when you're awake. I heard you talk when you sleep. Has anyone ever told you that talk is cheap?
And that is Run DMC and the mayor, a former rapper. Maybe you ought to listen to Run DMC. So, boy, are we about to get into it. But first, I want you folks to tell me what's going on in the world these days. The girls are worse than the boys. The girls are worse than the boys when it comes to behavior. It wasn't like this when I was growing up. The girls were quiet. I don't want to use the term meek, but generally meek, stayed out of trouble, and left the trouble for us boys. Did you hear about what happened in Jersey City, New Jersey, America? You have a number of young people, 3 teenage girls that have been arrested after a drive-by acid attack in which it's left 6 women hospitalized with skin burns and peeling. Again, Jersey City. This from Channel 11 here in New York.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Well, now to a breaking update to that acid attack in Jersey City. Police have arrested a juvenile in connection to this attack, but they have not yet been charged. We're also learning new details about the victims of the attack. There was a total of 6 people injured, including 3 teens and a 21-year-old who were transferred to a burn unit to be treated for second-degree burns to her face and also to her scalp. A spokesperson for the city says the group was walking on Wilkinson Avenue when 2 people on a moped drove past their car and threw sulfuric acid on them. They were all brought to the hospital with burns and peeling skin. Police say the incident appears to be targeted and may have stemmed from an argument with a large group of people earlier in the day.
So, America, you tell me what's going on. The girls are worse than the boys these days. Okay, Mamdani. Let me zero in on the socialist mayor of New York for a second, right? Mamdani is a smart guy. You can't take that away from him, right? But he's 34 years old, and it's really showing. Your age is showing, Mamdani. Sometimes it's best to shut up. Mamdani does an interview. He's trying to answer a question from Channel 11, right? I get it, folks. I really do. The mayor of New York, you're tired all the time. All the time. You're on a platform, a soapbox all the time. But sometimes it's best to shut up, especially when you don't know what you're talking about, young boy, 34 years old. Mamdani is trying to answer why, in some regards, crime is up. Crime is up. They get to the issue of rape. And this guy expands on the definition of rape, which is a major no-no, as an explanation for why rapes are up. That's not your role, Mamdani. Stay in your lane. Let the sexual assault groups deal with the definition of rape and the terms. That's not your lane. It sounds like you're making an excuse for rapists. That's what it sounds like. So Mamdani, you know, I knew guys like this the entire time growing up. We called them Nowinskis. They thought they knew everything, right? And they were the kids that got beat up all the time. I hate to put it that way, but they were beat up because they thought they had the answer to everything. That's Mamdani. He's a smart guy. He went to the Bronx High School of Science, a specialized high school. You got to be really smart to attend the school. I went to school not far from Mamdani, one of the schools that I attended. I went to DeWitt Clinton High School. At the time, all males. I went there for football, and whatever Bronx Science was, DeWitt Clinton was the exact opposite in a bad way. Okay? For wannabe thugs, football players, and for kids that were going on to prison. Boys, okay? So Mamdani went to a great school. But sometimes you need to shut up, Mamdani, because you don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you're the mayor, but you're not the emperor of New York or the world. Listen to Mamdani trying to explain away on rape.
I believe the NYPD, when they put forward their numbers, what we're seeing are some of the lowest numbers that New York City has seen in recorded history, especially when it comes to murders and shootings. These are the lowest we've ever seen. And what I think is important to know is a lot of the increase in rape also comes from an expanded definition of what counts as rape, as well as survivors coming forward for acts that took place years prior. And we are thankful for them coming forward, the courage and the bravery it takes, but just to provide New Yorkers with that context. And I'm proud that in working with Commissioner Tisch, we were able to fulfill the two hopes that we had earlier in the year to provide two different command centers in the Bronx like we do in Brooklyn and Manhattan and in Queens, and to also provide additional training to officers, all within the originally authorized headcount.
Hey, dum-dum. You have a female police commissioner. If there's any need to expand or explain away the definition of rape, you let the high-profile female police commissioner handle it, not you, Mayor Dum Dum. I want you folks to listen. A woman on social media calls herself, her handle is Latina Brown. Boy, is she, like many others, giving it to Mayor Mamdani.
Mayor Mamdani, tell all the women, all the victims, survivors, what is your version of rape? What do you consider rape? Because clearly you're trying to diminish what victims go through, survivors. You're going to make it impossible for victims to come forward about rape because your definition of rape is a very response to what's happening in New York City. Crime is up. You can fluff the numbers all you want. You guys are downgrading charges and things are not being reported accurately.
So, Mamdani, a woman that's sexually assaulted, do you think she cares what your definition of rape is? Whether it's expanded to qualify in Mamdani's world, do you think she cares about that? Or do you think she cares about the fact that she was violated? Come on, Mamdani, you're smarter than this. I know it's tiring being the mayor of New York. I know you're tired 70% of the time. That's keeping it real, folks. But you stuck on plain stupid. How dumb can you be, smart boy? That went to Bronx High School of Science, you punt on a question like that. You don't answer that question. You can't win. You say the city of New York will do better. Rape is a serious crime. We don't take it lightly. The NYPD, I strongly suggest you talk to Commissioner Tisch. We're going to impanel this to deal with the problem. You don't explain away rape, Mayor Mamdani, because it can't be explained away. 800-848-9222. Let's start with your telephone calls. Lauren in New Jersey. Lauren, what's on your mind?
Oh, Dominic, you said he's smart. Well, people can be smart, but they can still say repugnant things, and
Correct.
That was thoroughly repugnant. And if every woman doesn't stand up and express their outrage, their infuriation over that disgusting thing that he said, among other things. Now, I want to ask him a question. Let's say... Now, this is horrible to say, but let's say he was attacked and sodomized. Would he redefine sodomy?
You already know the answer to that, Lauren. Of course not.
And, the fact that that woman that you played, what she expressed, she was so spot on. And any woman who is attacked, who God forbid is raped, okay, what they go through, and she's right, so many women don't come forward, okay, the shame and just the horror of that situation. He needs to be held accountable for saying that, and I hope the legal aspect is brought up here. I hope every measure is taken to not only dispute what he said, but that he has to take it back. And how about going to some education classes? He should be required to go and have to see what women have gone through, because this is beyond. And you bring up, and she brought up about how it's looked at in Islam, and what men do to young girls and women. This is beyond, and everything else that he's done, the anti-Semitism, the leaving out the Italians and the Irish and all these other groups. Man, if people don't start getting it and wising up and fighting, what are they waiting for? What are they waiting for, Dominic? I'm sorry. I know I have to calm down. I'm so sorry.
No, you're doing fine, Lauren. What they're waiting for, if I can be frank with you, you have people in the minority communities, predominantly African Americans, that are sitting around saying, man, I'm waiting for my free stuff. That's all that matters to me. Free, free, free. Not realizing that they're delusional and free is never coming, while this man totally takes New York City down the drain. Lauren, thank you for pouring your heart out. You see, folks, I remember when there was nothing but smut on 42nd Street and Giuliani came in and cleaned everything up. Mamdani probably wasn't even born at the time, right? He certainly wasn't an American at the time if he was born. And is that where you want to take us back to, Mamdani? 800-848-9222.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Socialist Mamdani puts his foot in his mouth in an interview with Channel 11, asked about rape, why rape is up. Mamdani goes on to say in defense that the definition of rape has expanded. In other words, he's trying to explain it away. You could never win in that circumstance, Mamdani. You have a high-profile female police commissioner. If any expansion is necessary, Mr. Know-It-All, why don't you let her do it and you stay away from it, dummy? It's that simple. You're a man. You can't win a debate like that. Have you lost your darn mind? Has your director, mommy, not taught you anything? Or is your hateful father and your hateful racist wife, are they impacting you more? Which racist is getting to you the most, or anti-Semitic? Because you're just plain stupid, Mamdani. Why would you do that? In a million years. You don't sit up there on television and try and redefine or explain away rape, because that's what it sounds like what you were attempting to do. 800-848-9222. Paul, line 4, Plainview, New York. Paul, what's on your mind?
How you doing, Dominic? I just want to say that, unfortunately, 3/4 of the people in this city don't know he said it and won't know he said it thanks to our bought and paid for media. Even though it was on Channel 11, it probably went right over half of the people's heads what he said.
You know what, Paul? Wow. I don't want to go there and describe the different local outlets. I can with the snap of a finger, but it wouldn't be fair to the outlets if I do so. But I'll just say this, Paul. The people that you have covering Mamdani now, these are B-level, C-level reporters that, see, I can't even say that because I've worked with many of them. As a matter of fact, one of the major ones that covers him today started with me as not as my intern, but as my assistant. And so it's tough because he's not facing any real reporters. They don't know what to ask him. They're caught up with the celebrity of covering the mayor. Damn the fact you're covering the mayor. You should be impressed with the people. The people. Gabe Pressman, Marsha Kramer, who's still around, myself, and a few others, we were always impressed with you folks. Not the power of being at the socials with the mayor. The hell with the mayor, no matter who the mayor is. Or the socials at being with the president and all of the stuff the good stuff that comes with that, going to Gracie Mansion, blah, 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 blah. I'd rather have a hole in the head than go to Gracie Mansion to see this clown that's the mayor of New York. And certainly not his wife. Thank you so much for the call, Paul. Dominic Carter here with you folks. Let's see here. Let's go to Garcia, line 2 in New Jersey. Garcia, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic. Listen, I want to ask you a question. How are you going to protect New Jersey Senator Booker? You think he's going to lose New Jersey, or what the hell going on?
He's not going. Booker's not going to lose New Jersey. He's got Oprah in his pocket. He's a good showman. He does nothing and runs his mouth a mile a minute. Does absolutely nothing. As mayor of mayor of Newark. Oh, I live in the projects. I'm amongst the people. Straight up con man, running game. And his constituents are the ones that lose. Cory Booker is exactly what is wrong with American politics. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So apparently the top socialist in America, Mayor Mamdani of New York City, trying to explain the uptick in rape, and goes on in an interview with Channel 11 to say that the definition of rape has been expanded. Wow. So looking at my Twitter, at my ex, Dominic Carter here with you. Patty says, at Dominic TV, how could anybody expect Mamdani to sympathize with rape or be on their side after he has no sympathy for the people of October 7th that was slaughtered and raped and burned alive? Debbie Lebedo, Staten Island, says, Dom, intelligence and or being smart, she put smart in quotation marks, has zero, capitalized, to do with morality, common sense, and knowing the facts of a particular situation or issue. 800-848-9222. TJ, line 4 in Brooklyn. What's on your mind, TJ?
Dominic, pleasure as always. Mamdani's comments, and I live right near Bay Ridge, and the amount of rapes over in the Bay Ridge area, which is now heavily Muslim, have increased threefold. Nobody will talk about it. The police captains really won't discuss it. And that's, again, political pressure. Could you imagine if Donald Trump or Bruce Blakeman made comments of how rape is formulating or evolving? They'd be absolutely crucified for making those comments, number one. Number two, for Mamdani to allow in his mindset that in his culture, these men are allowed to basically do whatever they want. My wife's a New York City public school teacher. There's a huge problem in the New York City public schools with Arab boys, once they hit about 13 or 14, they don't listen to female teachers anymore. They look at it like they don't have to. And, you know... Wait,
TJ. You're not telling me about some Muslim country. You're telling me this is happening in America?
Oh, yeah, this is happening here in the United States. And, you know, the flip side of this is you have schools in New York where teachers not only don't have American flags up, they have Israel crossed off on a map. They have the Palestinian Pride merged flag hanging in their classrooms. And these are people who are teaching history, and they are subjectively leaving out very important facts, and none of these kids seem to know it. It's horrible, and I know you and I have spoken on education before. The other point I wanted to make is, if you look at the language on data centers that Hochul and the crazies are throwing out there, it's exactly the same language that they used on fracking. How is it if Dominic Carter's power bill is $300 a month and mine is $500 a month, how is my power bill going to drive up Dominic's rates? And, I mean, these are silly points. You know, they're talking about energy efficiency of these data centers. Look at some of the buildings that the state operates. Their energy efficiencies are terrible. This is all smokescreen, Dominic. As usual, you call it right down the middle. Keep it up. Great show.
Thank you, TJ. I can't believe that that public school teachers, if that's happening, that they're allowed to get away with crossing out Israel. I mean, I know you can't fire them because of the UFT contract, but boy, oh boy, you'd sit in a rubber room, in my rubber room, all day long. I know the principals, their hands are tied. I get it. But you would sit in my rubber room all day long. I get it. In education, you got to go along to get along, right? You really do, right? Because the union is very, very powerful. Full disclosure, the UFT many years ago did do several book events for me. They've had me before events, so full disclosure. 800-848-9222. Let's go to Lou, line 4 in Edison, New Jersey. Lou, what's on your mind?
Hi, has anyone ever asked Mamdani what exactly is the expanded definition of rape compared to the last one? And have they asked
wait. Lou, why is that important?
Because there may not be an expanded definition of rape. And it might be so silly and so stupid that people would not believe it.
Well, you raise a great point there, Lou, but the problem lies here. You have B and C level reporters covering him that really should not be covering anyone. They're not ready yet. I'm not saying that they won't be ready one day, but they're not ready now. It's amateur hour in terms of the reporters that are covering him. Two major ones, including the reporter that asked Mamdani the rape question, worked under me as staffers. Dan, who's now the lead anchor over at Channel 11, and I don't think I'm saying anything disparaging about him. He worked under me. And another one, she's my people. I consider her family, Melissa Russo, Channel 4. We've known she's the lead political reporter over there. That's all I can say. I don't want to get into remarks of the coverage. I think if either one of them asked me, knowing my personality, they would know that I greatly disapprove of what they're doing. They're giving Mamdani a free ride because they want to be on the right side of history. That's more important to them. See, for somebody like me, maybe I'm just different, right? I don't give a damn of what the politician thinks about me. My responsibility, and this is the way I always felt, folks, I have to be honest with you, coming out of the projects. And my thing was, I'm a success of the people, not the politicians. And I'm here to hold these fools accountable. That's what my job is. Not to be liked, not to be at the cocktail parties, to not care about the cocktail parties. Because, see, these elected officials, they have little ways of buying off reporters without giving a dime. Oh, you want access to Gracie Mansion? You want access to all my parties? You want to be on my guest list? You want to see me call your cell phone in front of your friends? Things like that. Those are little payoffs for reporters. But Mamdani, on a daily basis, he's never asked a single question. Mamdani, the way that Giuliani had to deal with me, the way that Dinkins had to deal with me, the way that Ed Koch had to deal with me, even de Blasio to a degree. This mayor, Mamdani, he wouldn't last 3 minutes. I kid you not, folks. He would be exposed for the empty suit he is within a matter of 5 minutes. 800, thank you for the call, Lou. 800-848-9222. Let's go to Larry, line 2, Staten Island. Larry, what's on your mind?
Dominic, I want to comment on yesterday, the coverage on Sonny Hostile and her comments about being fearful in neighborhoods where a lot of American flags are displayed.
Yes, go ahead.
My sense is, I think this is a woman with black guilt. I think she has a lot of black guilt, meaning she's trying to win the black community over.
Okay, but wait. Black guilt for what? And I thought she was Latino, but black guilt for what?
She feels, because she made a statement that white feels like white supremacy when she sees an American flag. I think she's just trying to.
No, I don't need you to repeat that. You said black guilt. I don't understand what she would have black guilt for, because I don't think it's black guilt. I was in the same position. We all are. It's called getting paid. That's what it's called. It ain't got nothing to do with guilt. This is called getting paid. Now, this is what's in her heart. So, for example, whenever you go on any of these shows, right? So, and it got to be a little different for me as I moved up in stature in my career. So when Face the Nation called me, right? And I've done them all. Hardball with Chris Matthews, all of them. They pre-interview you. So now I generally don't have to be pre-interviewed because I've been doing this for years. But almost everyone, 95% of the people that you see on a television show, they are pre-interviewed by a producer off air. And they take notes and they give the notes to the anchor. And generally speaking, sometimes the producers will be honest. And so when I started out in the late 80s, and it was Jim Jensen, and I forgot the guy that wrote Primary Colors, but he was going to be on one side, and they wanted me to come from the left. So that means the same thing that they have Sonny Halston doing now, that's what they wanted me to do in the late 80s. And long story short, at the time, Channel 2 News was considering hiring me as an on-air reporter, and it was unheard of at the time for someone to come directly from radio and go into television in New York City, the #1 media market. And the guy that started New York One, Paul Sagan, at the end of the day, he was at Channel 2. And at the end of the day, they sent me out with a crew, had me do a tape for Channel 2, and then they said, "You're not ready." When they say you're not ready, but you're going to be a star in this town, my attitude was, leave me. And I've told this story before. At the time, it was $500-600 a week to sit up there with Jim Jensen, and I was to come from the left to do what Sonny Halston does, but I wasn't going to be as aggressive. And I was so mad that they didn't hire me. I said, "The hell with you and your job." Now, that was an extra $2,500 for my family a month back in the late 80s, but I turned it down like a moron. So I hear you, Larry. Thank you. Let's go to Judith, line 3 in Brooklyn. What's going on, Judith?
Hi, Dominic. Yesterday you opened up with a show and you're telling us how you feel about the American flag in the most positive way. And you also showed how there are other people that are so despicable. And I just want to, I feel very passionate about the American flag. And I am disgusted with people that disrespect the American flag. So I just want to share some thoughts with you, Dominic.
It's got to be quick, Judith. Go ahead. It's got to be quick.
Well, I'm going to try. Well, I
have to tell you it has to be quick because I have to move on. But go ahead, Judith.
The American flag is also about God and country. And I'm talking Judeo-Christian country, not communist country or Islamic country. Dominic, our dollar bill, it doesn't say in Karl Marx we trust or Muhammad we trust. It says in God we trust. And all these haters against America, do me a favor, go back to your country of origin or any other country that you think is better, because do not try to change this amazing country. And last but not least, thank you, Dominic, the DSA's communist Islamists are a threat to our democracy and should be outlawed. And by the way, I feel like this whole country is being raped. And by the way, in the Quran, women are property. And TJ's call was an eye-opener. And that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Judith. Let's go to line 4, Gracie in Rockland County. Gracie, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind? First, since June 14th, Flag Day, Trump's birthday, we've been putting the flag out every day to show the two, my cul-de-sac and the other cul-de-sac that we're patriots. And because, people aren't. It's just different. I guess maybe because we're the oldest in the circle, because we're here 50 years. But okay, as far as the young reporters or whatever reporters, they want to keep their jobs, and also they have to follow what their bosses and their bosses' bosses want. What I don't understand with the top bosses, these are wealthy people. Before, when Trump was just Mr. Trump, they would have loved to be his friend. What changed? Do they think when the communists come and take over this country, they're going to be happy? They're going to have all their individual groups? No. There'll be one like Prada, one newspaper, and all of them will be out of jobs. But then, of course, they're very rich, and if you're very, very rich, even if you lose something, you still have plenty. That's why I have contempt for all these wealthy liberals that should care about the country that made them wealthy.
Well, the liberals, thank you for the call, Gracie. I have to move on. The liberals are the absolute worst, right? And I've told this story before as well. In television, every time there was a story in the projects, Dominic, you got to go to the why I got to go to the projects every time? Send one of your other reporters to the projects. And so that's what happens under these liberals. There were times when I would take a conservative position and they would say, no, Dominic, no, this way. And I would say, I'm sorry, I didn't know you grew up in public housing. And then they get all defensive. It's the world that we're in, folks. But these reporters, the bottom line is this. They're not qualified to cover Mamdani. He makes a fool of them each and every day. They're more interested in being accepted in the hip-hop generation and being accepted by their peers and so on. They're just not living in reality. It is time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. I'm looking at some of the comments on my Twitter, on my X. Nikki says, Ed Dominic TV, I would like to know how the women of New York City who voted for this moron feel about what he said. I know how I feel. I was appalled but not surprised by him. The Run DMC song you played earlier was absolutely fitting for that low-level quote in quotes mayor. Susan says Zohran sees rape exactly like he says. He never acknowledged the people who were raped and slaughtered on October 7th. I wish him to be deported. Back to your telephone calls. Let's go to Sandra, line 5, New Jersey. What's on your mind, Sandra?
Well, Dominic, good afternoon. I was thinking about Nancy Mace, the senator who was raped, and she never is ashamed to share her horrible experience being raped. I think she should have a nice discussion with Mamdani and let her him in his place. She would be perfect on that. I was thinking about that. And then one other thing, yesterday you mentioned how, young people staying home, they don't want to work, they want to get the freebies from Mamdani's. I want you to know that whenever I'm out and about, when I go to Home Depot or Dunkin' Donuts or wherever it is, and I see young, I don't praise them, but I show my appreciation for what they're doing. feel so proud of what they're doing because I want to encourage these people to know that they're doing a beautiful thing. They're walking the way you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to work. So I think if everyone does that, it's going to maybe help a little bit to encourage these people to continue what they're doing and lead on to bigger and better things.
Well, maybe, and thank you for the call, Sandra. Sandra referring to the Congresswoman who claims that she was raped. And I use that word, I have to legally, well, morally as a journalist, there's always a he said, she said, generally in these type situations. And so, but as far as the young people, yes, they're to be praised if they're working, but it's a lesson that their mother and father should have taught them. I'm looking to see who's on line 2 here, and I'm going to get to it. Okay, let's see here. Jim in Nutley, New Jersey. Jim, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. I didn't think what Mayor Mamdani said about rape was really that bad. I don't think he was diminishing it at all. Even my wife kind of agreed. I think it was just explaining that these women came that were raped or molested from years ago and reported it now. So I really don't see. Okay, so if you're asked about the uptick in rape and you immediately get defensive by saying that the definition has expanded, Jim, do you really think that's wise? Well, maybe you shouldn't have answered it, but I really don't. To me, you're making it too big of a deal. I think. No, I'm not the only one that's making it too big of a deal. Every media outlet is on him about this. Thank you for the call, Jim. I strongly disagree with you. Carlos, let's go back to soundbite number 31, and let's listen again to exactly what the mayor of New York had to say.
I believe the NYPD, when they put forward their numbers, what we're seeing are some of the lowest numbers that New York City has seen in recorded history, especially when it comes to murders and shootings. These are the lowest we've ever seen. And what I think is important to know is a lot of the increase in rape also comes from an expanded definition of what counts as rape, as well as survivors.
Stop. What counts as an expanded definition of rape? Frankly, no male politician should be in a position like that trying to explain that away when you have a female police commissioner why didn't Jessica Tisch do that? Because Jessica Tisch knows that that's just not wise. It's plain dumb to do something like that. Mamdani and Jim, respect for you. And frankly, okay, your wife agrees with you, good for your wife. Then I disagree with you and your wife. What Mamdani did was wrong, and that's why he's being called out in the media, not just me. He crossed the line. Folks, I want to say this as we are wrapping up here. America's heroes need your help now. Do good in their honor by donating $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers, and you can amplify your impact of the car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. T2T.org.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?